Hey, welcome back. So let's do the image cropping. We're not going to crop the image, we're just going to resize the images. So right now this is a small image. If you look at the file size, I can go to the images section here, right click and open containing folder. The file size is rather small, so it's 96 kilobytes. So we can limit the image for profile images to a specific amount that we want in terms of size. So what I'll do is, let me try and import a much larger image. So I have one image here, I think is 1.5 megabytes. So let's open that and then let's try to replace the current image. So save, profile saved successfully. So this is a new image. Now if I go to my I click here, this is the image. I'm opening folders, a lot of folders. But you see, if I select the image, right here you can see it's still 1.5 megabytes. This is not cool at all, because if I have 10 of these images, then it defeats the purpose of having a website, because a website at most the whole thing should at least be 1 megabyte only if it's good programming. So we don't want images that are quite large here. We want to limit to maybe 60 kilobytes or 100 kilobytes. The less the better, if it can look good with good quality. So let's see how we can resize an image. Now we're going to use the GD library. So what you do is go to in preparation, go to your PHP settings. So this is the Apache config. You may be using a different system than XAMPP, so I'm going to click here. The point is, just find your PHP ini file. So this is the PHP ini. It's found in the XAMPP PHP folder. So php.ini. If you can find it there, there's usually a PHP development or PHP, development and production. So you can get the development one, change its name to php.ini and save. So what we are looking for here are a few settings. The first one is upload max size. So this is the one right here. Oh boy, I went overboard on this one, right? So the thing is, increase the maximum file allowed to be uploaded here. So if you're uploading files that are 1 gigabyte and above, you have to put 1024 megabytes here. So if 1 gig is 1024, that's 1 megabytes. So you can put any number that you want here, just to make sure that you are allowed to upload. File uploads should be on as well. And then we go to another setting, that's max. Is this the one? Maybe not. I don't remember the other setting. It's upload something. So let's see. Oh boy, there's a lot of uploads here. This is not going to do. I'll put an underscore there just to limit where I can go. So I'll go up and down, upload temp directory. Okay, that one is fine. That one is what we just changed. So let's look for another one. Oh boy. You know, this is why it's good to remember the actual names, because you don't have to suffer like this. Good God. Okay. Maybe it's post max size, I think. Let's try that one. Let's go up. There we go. So it's post max size. So you have to change this one as well. Let me put it at 1024 for 1 GB. Okay. So once you change those two things, we are good. Oh, not yet. Let's go to the extensions. So extension equals, let's find that area. There's an area with a lot of extensions. We're gonna find it very soon. You will know that you found it when you're going line by line, and there it is. So when something is not active, it has a semicolon at the beginning. So you have to remove the semicolon if you want something to be active. So what we really want is extension is equal to GD. This one must be active. If it's not there in your file, just add it. Just type it like this, extension equal GD. That way we can edit images. Without that, you'll get errors like function not found, etc., etc. Okay, so now that things are saved in my file, save the file, close it, and then stop Apache and start it again. So stop, start, then we are good to go. So from there now we can do image cropping. So how do we crop our image? So let me close this. Cropping is done with one function. So the only problem is you have to prepare that function for cropping. Yes, yes. So we will go to functions here and create it inside functions so you can reuse it over and over. Function. The best though is to create an image class and then you use that class. You use that class over and over, but a function will do just fine. So we'll call this one resize underscore image, and then we need the file name of the image like that, and then we need to know the limit, the size, max size. Let's call it max size. What is the maximum size? So let's make this one optional so that if you don't supply it, then it's automatic. We're going to try 600 pixels. So what I'm telling it now is that whether the width or the height, whichever side of the image is biggest, should be reduced to 600 pixels. But we don't want to squash the image, so we're going to have to do a bit of calculation to know what the other side will be if the other side is 600. Actually 700 is fine as well. Okay, so from there what we will do now is this. So this is the file name. We have to make sure the file actually exists. So we'll say if file exists, file name, then let's go ahead. Okay, so file name is the file name. Now in case the file, none of this works here, maybe the file does not exist, we just need to return the original file name and leave it at that. Okay, but if the file exists, what we do now is we create an image resource and we use the image create from JPEG. So I'm assuming this is a JPEG file, but it won't always be a JPEG file. It could be a PNG. So what we would do is, first of all, we get the file extension. We can do this out here, it doesn't really matter. So say extension is equal to, so we will explode the file name based on the dot, because at the end, we just want the dot, whatever dot something at the end. So this will create an array of items separated by the dot, but we just want the last item which contains the file extension. So it's going to say this one is equal to end ext, like that. So end is a function that just gets the last item from an array. Okay, so that represents our file extension, but I want it in lowercase, so I'm going to say string to lower, like this, so that it's lowercase, because some cameras make the file extension capitalized, so we don't want that to mess with our system. So right here, what we would do is now we can put a switch statement if you want, that's up to you. So we can say switch, or you can use the if statement. Regardless, same thing. So I'm just going to get extension here and put it there like that. So switch, if the value is JPEG, right? Let's start with PNG, shall we? So I'm going to copy this and put it here. Now, if all fails, let's default to JPEG. Let's just assume it's a JPEG and continue with our lives. I'll duplicate this a couple of times. So this one is JPEG, like this, JPG. Now, sometimes JPEG is spelled as JPEG, like this, in the file extension. So in that case, we'll put two of them both here. So case JPEG and JPG will both fall on this one, right? So this one will image create from PNG and not JPEG. That's a real function right there. Okay, this does. So if you want GIF, you can still do. There's also image create from GIF. You can put it here, but not recommended. Okay, so switch, done. Anyway, I'll add it because I know I'll get some people saying, what if it's a GIF file? Okay, no worries. I got you covered, yeah? So image create from GIF as well. Goodie. Okay, so everything is covered here. Yes, looking good. So once we have that, now we'll have an image resource at the end here. So the function that that resizes our image is called image resize resampled, image copy resampled, sorry. So this is the function right here. Now, as you can see, it's got a lot of things that it needs, a lot of inputs. So we need to create those inputs. The first thing is this destination image, right? We need to create that as well, but the source image, we have it, it's the image resource. This should also be an image resource as well. Now, the thing is, we want to copy the entire image. We don't want to crop any part of it. So the destination X and Y should be 0, 0, so that this is the destination X and Y. So what we are doing is this. Let me explain this a little bit. I wish I had Paint here, right? Well, what do you know? I do have Paint, yes. Okay, so what we are doing is this. Where's my mouse? Oops. I can't find my mouse. This is insane. Okay, there it is. Finally. So what's happening is that we have an original image here, right? Like this. But then we have another image here. So this image could be maybe 1000 by, let's say, 500 down here. Okay. So XY. Now what we want to do is we just want to create a new image entirely here and make sure that this image has, let's imagine the width is bigger here, as we can see. We'll make sure that this is 700 pixels here. And then we'll have to calculate what this side will be based on reduction. So we'll look at the ratio of these two and then multiply this ratio as well to make sure that we maintain the aspect ratio of the image. But then the copy XY is, where do we start copying from? Here in the source X and Y. So you can, if you're cropping the image, you might want to start copying from this corner. So you copy a box like this, right? You tell it where to start, the XY, and how much of the width to get and how much of the height, which means you're cropping this image to just this section. But in this case, we are not cropping. So we want to start from the very beginning here and get this corner, paste it on our next image right there, and then get this width, the whole width, and then paste it to this width that's here, squeeze it there, get this whole thing and squeeze it there as well. So hopefully so we are making a copy of the image. So this is the original image. The destination will start at XY00 because we want to paste here, because it's also possible to paste here and leave this blank. That's still a valid image, but we want to paste right there just as we have copied from that corner. So this will be 0 and this will be 0. The source is also 0, 0. That's good. But we need to know the destination width and height and the source width and height. Now the source width and height are not difficult to know. We can use a function. So I'm just going to say source width. Wow, let me just put like that. So that one, we have a function called image sx, like this one, and then it takes in the image resource like this. So this will give us the x-axis of the image. There's also h, which will give us the y-axis. Oh, it's images y. Okay, so now we have our source width and our source height, because we're getting the whole thing, no need to do calculations there. So we'll paste that there as well. Where am I even pasting? I should just do that. So destination width and height are the problem. So we need to create those. We need to know what these guys are. So how do we know that? The first thing we need to know is to check if the source width is greater than the height. So if the width is greater than source height, in this case, we'll do one thing. If it's not, we'll do something else. Or if they're the same, we'll go to the else side. So what we're trying to create here is destination width and height. So think about it. If the width is the highest, right? If it's the biggest, so in this case, our width is bigger for our image, which means we have to limit this width to the maximum, which is 700. So we're going to set this destination width, because it's the biggest, to the max size. So max size right over there. So copy that and paste it here, like so, okay? And then now we need the destination width, right? So let me call, the destination height, sorry. So in order to know the height that we need to know the ratio between the width and the height. So let's say, for example, let's see here. This one is 1000, this one is 500. So the ratio between the two is this small number divided by the bigger one. And the ratio is going to be 0.5. Okay? And then we'll multiply this number by 0.5, which means half of it. Any number you multiply by 0.5 is, the answer is half. So this will be 350 pixels, right? Which maintains the ratio, 700, 350, which is half, 1500, which is half. So that's what we're doing here. So here I'm going to get the smaller one, which is the height, and divide it by the bigger one. So division by source width, which is higher. Okay. And then the result of this thing, I want to multiply by the maximum size. So result multiplied by max size. Then we have our destination height. So everything is good there. So if it's the opposite, then we do the opposite. Simple and straightforward. We just get these guys and put them here. Let's get this other guy. Put him here. So now the height is the biggest one, so that gets the maximum size. But this height is bigger, so let's swap these two here, like so. So that we always need to divide the bigger one, the smaller one, the bigger one into the smaller one. I'm confusing myself. Anyway, this is what we need to do to calculate. So now we have the destination width and height, which means we can create a destination image. So let me just do that, and let's create a destination image, because now we have its resolution, width and height. So here I'm going to say destination image is equal to, there's a function called image create. Now we used image create from JPEG, but there's another one called image create true color. This one just takes two things, width and height. So we'll get destination width and of course destination height. So this creates an empty image. So once we create this empty image, we're going to paste from the original image into this one using these values here. Okay, so at this point we've pasted the image, and all we need to do is save it. Now to save, we have image JPEG. That's the function to use to save. Then we save the image resource, but we're saving the destination image here. Okay, and at this point we've lost interest in this image, and these things take a lot of memory, so we'll do an image destroy to make sure we get rid of this one since it's no longer useful. We've copied from it, we don't need it anymore, so let's destroy it. And then after we save this image, we destroy this one as well. So always remember to destroy your images because they take so much memory. Okay, like this. But there's a problem here. No, not yet. File name. So we can put a file name here. This would have just putting it like this would have sent it to the browser. At least we've put a file name. We want to replace the same original file name there, right? And then we can put a quality setting here. The maximum is 100, but that's a waste. You can do 98, but let's put 90. So you can test the quality until you find a good number that you like. I think 90 is fine for a profile image at 700 pixels, so let's leave it at that. But there's a slight problem. You see, this original image may be a GIF, maybe a JPEG, maybe. Now the thing is, you can get a PNG and save it as a JPEG, no problem. Even a GIF can be saved as a JPEG. This way you always have JPEGs. But if you want to maintain the original file extensions, then we have to do this switch thingy here. So copy this. Let's go down here where we are saving and let's paste. And then we'll get image JPEG wherever we have the JPEG version. So this one and the last one, replace. These are the guys we will replace. Oopsie daisy, I've replaced the wrong place. So I just want this one. Boom. Now this one is image PNG, of course. And image PNG has no quality setting because it's lossless. So it saves as it saves. Same with GIF, I think it's lossless. I have no idea. But there's image GIF here as well. Alrighty then. Goody. So this is how and then we make sure we destroy the image destination just like we destroyed this one. Okay, now this resizes our image. So let's see how well this is going to work. So all we need to do is say resize image and give it a file name. So I'm just going to copy this. And let's go where we are. Where are we saving this? In the admin. So right about here, where we move the file, right? Let's put that. Let's remove this setting here, and then resize image file name. The file name is destination. So let's paste that, and that should be enough. Okay. So now let me repeat what I had done with this image. Import this image. Come on, come on, come on. My battery is running low. Save. And this saving is taking a bit longer, but it's done. Now let's check to see the file size. Right click, open. So that's how it looks. And as you can see, the file size is 48 kilobytes from 1.5 megabytes. So here you can improve either the resolution, or instead of 700, you put 1000, or you can increase the quality setting if you want to accommodate more space and increase the quality of the image. But for now, I like this, I'll leave it here. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.